SonarFeed tweet. Tonight on SonarFeed episode 206, Two Thumbs Up, we have Tom Biro, as usual, your host.
Hi, Dave.
That's my NPR voice.
Is that all we got?
Yeah, that one kind of...
NPR is over.
I kind of did that once in a while in the Mercer Island drive-thru. It'd be like, hello and thank you for choosing the Mercer Island drive-thru Starbucks. How can we help you today? I also did rock radio voice, but Damon did that better. But that was kind of more of a, hello and thank you for, yeah.
You look like God or something right now.
I glow.
Do you think we could fix that?
No. The sun...
Sun, if you could go down faster.
The sun will go down on me.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
All right. Anyway,
Dirty.
And we have guest host Jacob Bush.
Who dat?
Jacob DM on Twitter.
Anywho, how's it going, boys?
That was the most awkward start I think we've ever had.
No, there have been some other...
Yeah,
No?
we've had a couple of these.
We had me try to do Let's Go. That was
You're going to have to narrow that down.
Well, God, Emily's right. You do, if you had a flower crown, like the Snapchat filter, we could probably create that so you could add the flower crown that it just floated above Dave's head. So I think we need to work on that. That's fantastic. Anyway, so welcome to SonarFeed episode 206. 2 thumbs up to 3 points. And we'll talk about 2 thumbs up in a few minutes. I think there's some fun things to say there. Jake, are you enjoying looking at SonarFeed on your...
Yeah, I'm trying to...
You can look on my screen if you
That's
want.
probably more convenient.
I have so many beers.
We could do that. Mark has too many beers, guys. So, anyway...
So it's a repeat of last night.
So before we get into this, because we'll probably have too much to drink and forget to talk about it later, this is going to be Mark's last show for a couple weeks, because he's amusingly going to Russia. No one's really sure what he's going to go to Russia for.
I'm going to find
Jail.
our buddy Edward Snowden.
He's actually going...
Grab some coffee.
That's a terrible...
He's actually going to get himself a new
I just
bride.
realized that.
Yeah, can you fix that, maybe?
All the Mark. All the time.
Just, we're going to literally make the first 10 minutes of the show about Mark. Which is a normal, I guess.
There's one cool thing that he's doing over there, besides getting arrested in Russia.
Finding a new wife?
He's gonna...
What? By the way, what is the tariff on bringing back a mail order bride?
There's no tariff, just legal fees for the...
Okay.
Yeah.
The divorce.
Damn.
It's a mail order bride joke, not a Mark joke.
It's both.
So Mark gets...
What's the difference?
Damn. So you get to go see the U.S. national team.
Yes, the women. They're
in
playing Sweden. Couldn't even tell you the name of the stadium, but it's 4 blocks from my hotel. do you need
He's amazing.
You need a Viagra?
That's what Mark's got, the jacked up wonky one. We can get you some blue tape and you'll be okay. It's blue like Viagra. So anyway, so let's dig in. We had a positive result yesterday. Was that Wednesday? Jeez. Last Wednesday was
not good.
Not a positive result.
Look at the dichotomy between the last 3 road games and the last 3 home
It's
games.
insane. 300, how many minutes now total of not having let up a goal at home? like 355 or some stupid number like that. And all the road games are terrible.
Wow, we're like the Timbers.
And yet, still not
No,
as
no.
bad as Houston on the road, who
We-
has a point,
we
or
still
Colorado
won.
on the road,
Which-
who has 0
No, I'm
points.
just
And
saying,
like, just think about
Away
how,
Day Legends.
I know, but we still won a game.
just think about how dominant they are at home.
The Houston Dynamo are like second in the West.
Right? Are they second now?
Yeah.
Yes, Sporting one.
Yeah. Okay.
With a total of 17 fans in that beautiful stadium.
And on the other side, we have Real Salt Lake trying to set new land speed records for letting up 5+ goals.
In a half.
Insane.
Let's not forget about the final 2 goals in 12 minutes at the end of the first half.
So we watched the condensed version of a couple of matches yesterday, and that RSL one was one of them. And the condensed, unlike that like 3-minute version, it was like the 21-minute version. You know, they actually show you plays that don't all result in goals, just sometimes interesting series or whatever. And in this case, it was basically a bunch of goals.
Well, there were 8 goals.
Yeah, it was just silly. So,
And a kid, a teenager, became
Yeah.
the second youngest player to score in MLS history.
Is that just him and Alphonso Davies?
Well, no. Freddie Adu played in MLS about
5 seconds?
14 years ago as a 14-year-old and scored like 5 goals that year. Like, people are like, Freddie Adu's a failure. Freddie Adu still has like 50 MLS goals in his career. I want to fail as badly as Freddie Adu did.
seriously,
Because I'd have 7 figures.
I think
and I'd
it's
have lived
on-
in Monaco at one point.
I think it's on the
Was it nice?
the Howler or the Goalmouth podcast. Every time they bring up Freddie Adu, no matter which of the like 3 people that host it, they're always like, I still can't believe that man is like 28 or 29, whatever it is. They're like, how is he still only that old?
Mm-hmm.
Been around
Crazy
forever.
town.
But
It
when you
is.
start, I mean, we've got kind of
Not the band.
a lot of people, like, to bring it back to the Sounders a little bit, sometimes people forget that, like, yes, Chad Marshall's been in the league forever, but he's also only 32. Because he started as a
Have you seen
20-year-old.
those photos?
And,
They're amazing.
yeah. So he is not imminently going to retire, as everybody seems to want. And, like, well, he's going to retire next year. He's been
Meanwhile-
saying that for 5 years.
Meanwhile, yesterday,
He was awesome.
we got chewed out because we didn't put him in the players of the match to vote for. That was because
There were a lot
there
of
are
players in
only
that.
4 people that you can put in.
Who are your options?
Roldan, Bruin,
Gustav?
Roll Dam.
not
Nico?
Roldan.
That's so good, though.
It just keeps going. No, keep going.
Flacco?
Nope.
Kovar,
Aaron Kovar,
Stefan?
Jovan Jones.
Jovan Jones.
Brad Evans? How did he not make the
It's not
cut?
Brad Evans. This was the problem, dude. There
Aaron
were
Kovar
so
made the
many
cut, but
options.
Brad Evans didn't
No,
make
it was Alonso, Roldan, Jones, and Bruin.
Alonso was the only one that made the team of the week.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
he has
kind
the
of baffling
least. He has the
because-
least votes.
I don't. From our side of it, like nationally, everybody's like, it was Osvaldo Alonso,
And yeah, and Bruin is making his way, but Roldan is leading right now.
roll down.
Roll Dam.
Damn.
Roll Dam.
Damn.
Shout out to Bread and her awesome people.
She was very excited. I was standing next to Brett in the snake pit, the stadium, and I was like, "Oh, what do you got? What do you got?" And literally, it's like an unveiling. Everybody's like, "Okay, what are you going to show
Yeah.
us?" And then everyone's like,
Oh.
which was pretty cool.
Except for the old people who are like, I don't get it.
And that's because you're old.
I had been.
Not you specifically.
No,
just
I'm
old people. Like lick it.
Anyway, so before we get into yesterday, as we sort of do the week that was, do we even want to talk about last
No.
Wednesday?
No.
What happened Wednesday?
There's
Columbus
Sounders game.
apparently has a capo.
I've had capos for a while now this season, which is fascinating. And the best part, and if you saw the ECS response to Tony, the picture of him standing on the capo stand with the two-pole of him
As an
is
L.
one of their major criticisms, right? One of their major criticisms was capos have too big of egos,
And now-
we hate that. And I'm like, you have a two-pole of yourself on your capo stand. Okay, whatever. I got nothing for that.
I do think the Photoshop was great when they put the elf in the bathroom.
It was excellent. So that was the response that went back to Tony. We really expected a lot more comments back, but no.
There's an interesting thing with that rivalry. Some sports business dude like mined a bunch of data and got people to rank rivalry points. And Columbus fans put Seattle as their biggest rival. And Seattle fans had Columbus as like their 12th biggest rival.
Yeah.
Who?
Like Chivas USA is more of a rival than Columbus.
Houston is.
Yeah.
Like games that matter against Houston.
Miami FC.
2 of them. Yeah. But it was kind of funny because basically
The Fusion are a bigger rival.
The Cosmos.
Stop. Actually, that's probably accurate, but
Yeah.
that's a different discussion.
But that's a lot.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Dave.
it's just an interesting thing because Seattle wound up in basically everybody's top 5, as did Portland.
Yeah.
And, you know, the top 5 is who we'd kind of expected to be. LA, Portland. Well, Portland, LA. I think it was Salt Lake, Vancouver for the top 4.
I mean, Salt Lake used to be a good rivalry.
Yeah, when they were good. And then this year happened.
Yeah.
And kind of last year.
It's not like that, yeah.
So Columbus happened. Again, another midweek down moment. I don't know if anybody was really shocked by where we were at the end of that game, based on the lineup.
Yeah.
But you know, some things that happened over the weekend at S2, we won 3-0, which is amazing.
All the goals.
We had a very good time. But someone had asked me up by the beer stand. They were like, "Hey, where's Vic Mansoret? How come we don't have players like him playing in situations like this?"
Well, I got news flash for you. Here's the Vic Mansoret update. He's only started 2 games. He's only played in 2 others for FC Cincinnati, and that's despite the fact that they lost Andy Craven because he tried to take out a dude's head with his elbow.
And he's back in.
They traded him back
OKC.
to
Like
So
immediately.
Mansoret basically couldn't get playing time even when the openings were available. I think he just got his 3rd start so he's basically not playing. He has less than 300 minutes. They're 10 games into their season, and he hardly plays. And the other Vic Mansoret news of the day is he has left the U.S. soccer system, where he played for the youth national team a few times, and will be representing Sierra Leone. And possibly with I think it's with their senior side. We won't know for certain until their roster comes out.
I bet you it's seniors though.
Yeah. Which would be cool because that means he's going to hang out with Kai Kamara, and that will be good for him and his ability to learn how to play soccer.
Yeah, for sure.
And if he can get he's a fringe youth national team player with the U.S. With Sierra Leone, he's a fringe senior national team player. So get paid, Vic. Get paid.
Well, good on him.
Also, please play more for Cincinnati, so maybe next year you're useful here.
We'll see what happens. And then the only other thing, kind of out of the last week or out of Sounders land that we should touch on is
You said Sounders
about
land.
this. I said Sounders land.
Wait, do we want to talk about the Mats at Bruce Arena?
Well, we do want to talk about that. Yeah.
No.
But I want to talk about Sounders first. I want to talk about yesterday. Was the latest Fan 11 for the All-Star game came out, and I'm pleased to announce that there are no Sounders in right now the Fan 11. Stephen Fry is 5th in keeper voting. Deuce is 5th as a forward, and I think those are the only Sounders in the batch right now as far as voting goes. But
how are there 3 left backs on the Fan 11 right now, and one of them's not Novin Jones?
No comment. People are stupid. Seriously. People are bad at voting in things. I'm not making a political statement. But like in this case, like are you even watching soccer?
I could argue Greg Garza is better.
But not even in the batch?
But 3 left backs are in the 11.
It doesn't make any sense. It's mind numbing.
Yeah.
So
Or in the 10, right? Because we're only voting on 10.
Right. But you know what's going to happen is we're going to end up with a situation where they're like, Garber's 2, and he's going to pick Clint Dempsey or someone. Someone will end up there. Or maybe they're smart and they send Jovan Jones.
Jovan Jones would be... Well, they won't need to send Jovan Jones if 3 left backs make the roster. Although he would be one that...
He could play wing.
Can we not send him? Because that's how we lose him.
Can we not send anyone?
I don't know who that helps. No one gets tired from playing in the All-Star game. The All-Star game is a no effort, no defense thrill that players play 30 to 45 minutes. They're not going to be exhausted by it. It helps them negotiate their contract. They get a bonus for going.
Yeah.
Guys like Roldan and Jovan Jones, you should want at the All-Star game. It
I
helps
would
their
like them
marketing.
to make money. I don't want them to play unnecessary random games.
Unlike
just like the
All-Star
other 2
game.
games.
The All-Star games never has exhausted anyone.
It's not that being exhausted.
They don't tire anyone out. They don't injure anyone.
Nah.
Yeah, but at the same...
I mean, you're going to bring up
You're
something
running
that
the-
happened in the 70s
You're
in
running.
baseball.
You're running the risk of. It happens in the NFL all the time. There's literally not beach football anymore at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, but they don't do gimmicky
Because-
crap like that for the MLS All-Star game.
Okay, but that doesn't mean you don't run the chance of getting yourself hurt in a game. And to be honest, I don't really know MLS fans, at least in this market, in New York market. They don't think it's stupid. They think it's a waste of time.
A lot of fans claim the MLS All-Star game is stupid and a waste of time. And then it gets the second best ratings of any MLS game of the year behind MLS.
But those may not be the typical MLS fans watching that game.
Well,
They're watching
let's
to
admit,
see
the typical
Real
MLS
Madrid.
fan doesn't actually watch MLS games either.
That's a whole nother discussion. But you're getting people who want to watch Cristiano Ronaldo not even play.
All you got to do is get 10% of every team that's represented in the All-Star game, and all of a sudden you get huge numbers.
Right.
Because normally people don't watch the games not involving their own team.
That's fine. We could probably debate the merit of having.
Hey, we should probably
All-Star
do
games.
this the week of the All-Star game.
Sounds like a good topic. We'll come back to that. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting, given how things sometimes work, that there really aren't Sounders like running point on any of those things, and part
But
of
we
that's
don't
maybe the run of
really-
form they've had. But no,
We don't flood the vote for like goal of the week or save of the week anymore either. Like, you go back 09 to probably about
Well, it's
13 or
always
14. Sounders fans just flooded the vote constantly, and now we're just like,
Meh.
like, I don't want to open the app. That's hard.
I actually forget that there's an app sometimes.
So,
wow. Anyway,
that's our All-Star, my All-Star game thoughts.
But there's
For that
this.
time.
we'll debate that in a month. So let's get into Sunday.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Hey, that's why you stealing my shtick. Mark thinks we're at a reggaeton concert.
That's
Anyway.
what he's going to Sweden for.
Let's talk about Sunday's match. So, I don't know if a lot of people went into Sunday with high levels of optimism.
I had zero expectations.
Maybe until they read things that Dave Clark wrote on the internet.
Like, because the Houston Dynamo are garbage on the road.
Yeah.
Like, complete, utter. Like, I know I said that the Sounders are a bad road team, and then I remembered like 5 teams in the West are worse road teams than the Seattle Sounders.
Yeah.
Maybe
They're
4 West, 1 East, something
They're
like
still
that.
at 0, right?
Houston's it has a whole point.
One point.
It was a 0-0 draw at Dallas, their biggest
Oh,
rival.
is the Derby.
Yeah.
Battle of
Colorado's
Texas.
still at 0.
So who gets the cannon then? If they drew,
Well, they play more than once now.
I know, but if they draw both times, who gets the cannon?
No, they're probably stupid tiebreakers, just like there are stupid tiebreakers in the Cascadia
It's like
Cup. But
least yellow cards.
like I remember last year there was a point where we were researching like the red card
Yeah.
tiebreaker because
How far down the line do we have to go for this particular tiebreaker?
there's a chance that like if Vancouver won by 3 goals, that Seattle
Yeah.
would take it on the 5th tiebreaker or something like that.
Which is just ridiculous.
Then Vancouver hosed us, jerks.
By 3 goals.
No.
Womp womp.
It was the Portland game they needed to win by 3.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went into yesterday not terribly optimistic overall. However, I was happy about what you had written about the lineup, and then I saw some other like inklings about it, and I don't know where everybody's sources came from, but once you hear that like Bruin might play, you're like, okay, I feel pretty good about that. Not that there aren't other people that could potentially score a goal if you swap them into forward, or I don't want to...
No, there really weren't. I mean, the other people that could score goals were Shea Adekoya.
But I'm saying I'm not trying to demean Adekoya.
I'm done. Yeah, that's
Right.
it.
It was just like, could they have figured something out? Sure. Would it have been bad? Yes. But you see like a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel that Bruin may at least be in 18, and you're like, okay, you're playing at home. In theory, the team comes in feeling confident about playing at home. You know Stephen Fry wants to put on a good show, and so on.
And Bruin has a chip on his shoulder.
Big time.
Big time.
Turns out it's a really big chip.
Really big.
Really big.
What was it? His line after the goal. Let's fast forward a little bit. His line in the locker room about how I lingered there a little bit longer because it was Houston.
Yeah. So let's just say that like, what was it? December 23rd. We sent some fake Garber dollars to Houston for Will Bruin, and that turned out to be a pretty decent Christmas present for the team so far this season. So while the people on the other side of the table are like texting each other or doing something, Jake and I, we could probably just talk about the game.
Yeah, I mean, I had no expectations for Bruin when he came here, but I agree. It's paid off.
So having, as Dave corrected me on last night, his 4 goals.
Tied with Clint Dempsey now.
That Clint Dempsey guy, he's okay.
I mean,
And that's angry Clint Dempsey too, by the way.
that's angry Clint Dempsey?
Yeah.
What happened
He
to
seems
Clint
pretty
Dempsey?
angry right now. Like,
Angry Clint Dempsey would have had 20 by now.
no, but I mean like serious, I'm here to play, I'm gonna kill it Clint Dempsey.
So one game.
Anywho, so aside, we'll talk about a wonderful cross and an amazing finish. Then he almost ended up with another one later on. But how do we feel about overall play yesterday?
I like it. Like there've been a few games this year where you're like, even in the wins, you're like, well, that guy got away with. There wasn't a player where I was like, oh, that was a poor performance.
Right.
I mean, the only thing Flacco did wrong was not get a penalty called in his favor because he did everything right there. And
I like handballs. I mean, they're apparently fun. Now.
they cool.
Yeah.
It's a good defensive technique, particularly in the box.
That seems to be a league-wide issue, especially
Yeah.
this year.
Well, it is what it is.
I
So,
mean, the possession game was strong. They managed to get off several opportunities. I'm pretty confident the advanced metrics like them. My eye test like what was happening.
yeah.
The getting Gustav, Christian, and Ozzy all on the field at the same time was pretty awesome because one way that you can shut down an effective counter is just clog it. And
The 4 of them, so Marshall, Svensson, Ozzy, Roldan, like nothing was getting past them. There were just points where you're like, why are you dribbling in the middle of the field? Just don't do that. It's not going anywhere.
Plus, I mean, Flacco is basically a defensive midfielder that plays in an attacking position now, and Nico is both an attacking midfielder and a defensive midfielder.
Right.
So, like, the only guy that wasn't applying defensive pressure is Will Bruin, and that's because he only had one arm.
Which is okay. We'll give him that. We'll let that go for last night. So, I mean, there were a couple things that stood out. Not necessarily specific plays, but there were some things that I was pleased to see. One of them was Aaron Kovar.
Finally.
I just really like Aaron Kovar in general. I mean, we talked about him before. I chuckled at something. One of my friends from ECS had posted something on Facebook today, and it was like, I was really happy to see Kovar today. You know, a couple things happened that weren't great, but overall it was good to see him. You could see he changed the tone. at the moment. And it's like 15 comments from people who are not really just like the people who pat everybody on the back. They're like, yeah, I was happy to see him. Positive, 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 positive. And then someone's like, I thought he made a bunch of mistakes and I thought he was bad. And then no one even addressed that person. And then a bunch more people just piled on at the bottom and were like, I was happy to see him on the field. That was good stuff. More Aaron Kovar. That was great. And I was like, good. Like, after all the like misery, it was nice to see that people could just like bask in it for a minute and like be happy that a player that's been gone for a while, who's had 2 huge injuries in less than a year, was out there. And that was like a minor little bit from the game, let alone 50 other things that happened.
So I would also, Koval coming back was great, but having gone to every S2 game this year, seeing Nuhu go on the field is great. He's like, if he keeps it up, he could actually make more first-team starts, I think.
David has a comment.
One of the interesting things that Nuhu did is Nuhu might be as fast as Jovan, and tries to play this. He tries to play similarly to Jovan, except Nuhu's got like 25 pounds more of upper body on him, and he will just knock a dude aside.
Yeah.
He's like a linebacker.
Which is a fun little thing to have as a late game replacement, is this dude with like extraordinary speed that's willing to knock the crap out of the other team. It's a fun little thing. He doesn't have a great cross, doesn't have a great dribble, but he's also 19.
No, but you watch him at S2 and you sort of get the glimpse, but seeing him be able to hang with the full squad is interesting. Because and again, like, the average person may not see all of it, but I think when I talk to people who can analyze soccer and like watch players, they're like, yeah, there's something there. Not sure where that's going to go, but something's there, which is cool.
Yeah, he's got to get the crosses down and be better at controlling the ball. But like, he's 19,
Right.
So he gets that in a year or two. He's going to be not fun to mess with. And they're texting it. So
Somebody really wants their replica jersey with the star on it.
Wow.
They're like, I haven't been able to find one. He doesn't live locally, so online.
So you're solving this problem for someone?
Yeah.
What a god.
Yeah.
So we talked about a couple of players. Let's talk about Christian Roldan for a second, for 20 minutes. Either way, I think would be fine. Week after week after week after week, I think his name comes up. It's not to say he hasn't made a mistake or had something come up here and there, but I don't need MLS or whoever wrote the story. It was like his breakout year this year. I'm like, we've been talking about this for a year. Where are you guys been?
It's really funny because that story was written by the guy who was freelancing for the team up until like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It's like, you already called him a breakout when you
like
for the
a year and a half
Sounders.
ago.
but I get paid again to write it again.
Yeah.
I can't shame him for that. Get paid, Will Farsman. Get
Seriously,
paid.
Yeah.
take the money. But we're not saying anything that anybody doesn't already think or know here in Seattle. That was one that when I went and watched the condensed game last night, just to, cause you don't see everything obviously, you saw that happen in the stadium. Like, you saw it coming, and like, there's moments where you're like, if not an epic save, like a goal is coming, like look what's happening, and in that 1 second in your head, your brain just processes it right before you know what's actually going to happen. And then I watched it on television from the 4 angles they showed it on, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's 5 yards away from people, and he's like, oh, I'm just going to run past you and boot this ball in front of everyone all the way to the far side. And Bruin just pounded that home. I mean, it was fantastic.
I'm going to give it to the guy who's an immobilizer.
Seriously, though.
So good. Everything about that play was perfect. I mean, even if Fernandez was right there,
Yeah.
too, he could have.
But he looked like he let it go.
He let it
Yeah.
go.
When you watch
for
it on
Bruin.
TV,
And
He
I
laid
think
off.
in person,
I think-
I didn't think he did,
No.
but on TV,
He definitely
I
let
think
off.
Bruin might have said something,
something.
like, "Mine!"
yeah.
And
Well, at the end of the day,
At the
let
end of the
guy
day,
on
you
far
want-
post go, right?
Right. Well,
But he was. I mean,
And-
they were far enough apart that the keeper's here. You know, this guy's going to have a couple of different
Yeah.
options, whereas you're going to go right into that keeper potentially.
and by being in that position, the keeper's gotta be like, "Oh, which of these guys?"
Pick one, right?
I'm gonna hopefully stop one, and instead he would have stopped.
Well,
me,
and that's the
but-
difference of like the cross that's like curving back versus the like up and over kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That then it's just the angle. This was like, oh no, it's screamed past everyone, and the last guy puts it in the net. It was amazing, and I think the moment was cool. He walks into the goal. He's got his
Are you
thumbs
not
up.
entertained?
Right, but it was very much that, and I think a lot of people were thinking that, and I didn't listen to the whole TV broadcast, so I don't know how that all went down. But he just looked so like giddy.
And then they pull him out.
Yeah, like
There was the moment where I was sitting in the section, and he's in the net, and it's right in front of us, and the elation on his face, and
Yeah.
then we all just like, did that just really fucking happen?
it was really fun when we did thumbs up, Bruin thumbs up, which was super fun because aside from being easy, it catches on very very quickly. He finds it amusing. It was really good, but he did have that like little kid face
Yeah,
for a second,
yeah.
where like, yeah, I did that, and it's just interesting to see. You know, a lot of goals get scored for your team, for other teams, and people celebrate and they do stuff. But like this had the, I hate my former team, I'm hurt and I've been sitting on the bench, I just did something cool, did you see how awesome that cross was? And I put it in with my head, like it had so many different things. You're in front of the supporter section, like there's a million things
Half the
that went
team,
into that.
like your other normal forwards are gone.
Yeah. There's no one to celebrate named Clint Dempsey with me. Like, what do we do? No, it was.
that weird handshake with him and Wodan.
I don't even have a comment about that. But anyway, so you know, Rolled On continues to be on the big stage.
Yeah.
Good for Sounders.
Please never leave us.
We got to start paying him. man.
Good luck. Good luck with that.
I know.
Thankfully, he's not making like, I hate to say this, like Zach Scott money.
Yeah.
They're because
He's-
of other things. They're paying him more. But I mean, somebody's gonna come calling.
We should have him on the show.
You know, yeah. There's some work we could do to make that happen. Thanks, Mark. Yeah. Anyway,
That's what I'm here for.
did we just lose Dave to the internet?
Yeah.
So anyway,
This is great considering he's going to be producing the show next week.
so you won't have to talk. By the way, next week we're gonna have a special guest, friend of the show, Kevin Hope,
Excellent.
who's gonna come on and talk a lot of soccer stuff. We want to talk to Kevin for a number of reasons. A, he's a super awesome person.
He's
We also
great.
only had him on for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The
So
other time he was
let's-
on. Hey, I'm back.
We're gonna sit
Sorry.
down and we're gonna talk for a couple of reasons. One, Kevin's a big traveler, is doing some cool stuff.
He's a travel monkey.
He's doing that. He's doing home tickets for ECS. He's helping out with TIFO. He's doing all sorts of fun things. We wanted to talk to him a little bit about it's the 1 year anniversary of the shooting at the club in Orlando. So we want to talk about that for not the whole show because I don't want us to get into a really
Right.
not awesome conversation, but we thought it was respectful to have a conversation and just discuss kind of where things are at.
And there's some interesting soccer angles to that. I mean,
Absolutely.
Orlando City opened their stadium.
Yeah. So there's some relevant things, and beyond that, you know, Kevin's just got, I think, a really cool take on Sounders stuff and soccer in general. So, so anyway, so that's a heads up for next week's show. But you know, getting into other stuff from yesterday, the thing we didn't discuss yet, and probably because we actually had a positive result as it happened, was a certain other MLS team in Kansas City was able to request one of its players back from a national call-up so it could play a game. The name of Matt Biesler, and they were granted his temporary release. And at that moment, I know a lot of us were like, well, I hope the Sounders made a request. What's going to happen there? And then we found out Mickey Turner had posted some stuff that I guess ESPN had reported it yesterday that Garth Lagerwey had requested, quote, one of our 2 forwards back, and that was for Wednesday, not even for yesterday, and it was declined.
And Garth has now come back and said no such request happened.
Wait, Garth said that?
I mean, not Garth.
Bruce Arena
Bruce
said
Arena.
that.
Yeah, said that.
Somebody.
So it went to like the.
Yeah, but Schmetzer even said that he and Bruce talked
So it came in, and Bruce had control D.
on Friday's practice.
This feels like a where there's smoke, there's fire to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't like the formal request.
And maybe it wasn't Garth Lagerway.
I'd be
Like,
shocked.
Bruce Arena's like,
Right.
Garth didn't talk to
But
me.
that's all he has to say. I mean, that's a very,
But
very
Brian
Donald Trump
did.
way to respond to that.
So, yeah.
extremely frustrating. And for the
Also-
club over country people, yet another like feather in their cap for like, fuck that.
Also, just fuck Peter Vermees, anyways.
Also, and
And-
Bruce Arena.
And
Fuck.
Bruce Arena.
Bruce Arena.
I think
Yeah.
my closing paragraph on that was like the one thing we've learned from all of this is that Jordan Morris is more important to the U.S. national team than Matt Besler. Because if Matt Besler was important to the U.S. national team, you know what wouldn't
That's
have
true.
happened?
That.
He wouldn't have been released.
You mean
If he was going
Jordan,
to play-
I didn't even start the game, Morris?
Yeah, but he still played
Yeah.
20
I know,
minutes, and
I
Matt
know,
Besler
but
did.
just like, he did not.
If Matt
Right.
Besler was important,
Right.
he wouldn't have been released.
And that's fine, but,
Also hosed Salt Lake. They lost 2 guys,
yep.
and
You
one of them was
won,
to be
right?
the. No, I'm talking about. Or no, they just lost one guy. Kyle wasn't called up, but Ramondo was.
Yeah.
They lost their 3rd keeper to not play, and they had games that they lost. Like,
Poorly.
yeah. And if I'm Salt Lake or Seattle, I'm like, you cost us points.
Yeah.
Bruce Arena, they didn't need to carry 3 keepers
Well, it's, I think,
until the
frustrating when it's a
international
friendly.
break,
Yeah.
Right,
Like-
it's a friendly.
which starts like tomorrow.
Like, I mean, let's just be clear. Does Bruce Arena care at all? He doesn't have a dog right now in this race. He's just like, I'm going to get the players I want to get.
Well, Bruce Arena has this like gimmicky idea that if they play at higher elevation for a week and a half, 2 weeks before the Mexico game, they'll beat Mexico in Mexico. Because Bruce Arena is an idiot that doesn't understand science, or that Mexico's a better team by far right
That's
now.
not a factor, though. It's just about the altitude, Dave. I don't know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Okay, the science says you need like 6 weeks.
Yeah. Well, that's why people literally, like, move to Denver for long periods of time before doing, like, the Alps.
Do we have a? Here's a little story for you. In leading up to the 1998 Summer Olympics, which were in Atlanta, I was stationed. I was in the Army, and that was '96. Sorry, Summer Olympics, not '98. '96. I'm in the U.S. Army at the time, stationed at Fort Huachuca, which is about kind of Salt Lake elevation, so like 46, 4,800. Not tall enough that we got pass on some of our fitness tests, but it's a place where like a bunch of boxers that represent the United States in the Olympics are actually like soldiers in the U.S. Army. And some of the other individual events, archery, shooting, those kinds of things. And so half of my training barracks was actually just full of potential Olympians because they were in the Army and needed to be stationed somewhere where they were in higher elevation so that they'd have bigger lung capacity
Right.
when they went to Atlanta later. So that was it was really cool, like 2 weeks later, turning on the ceremonies and being like, hey, that's the guy from down the hall. I don't remember any of their names, but I remember,
I remember who
like,
they were in general.
I mean, there were a handful of them, and it was pretty cool. So that's what elevation can do if you live there for 6 months beforehand.
You mean the 1 week's not going to make a difference when you go to Mexico, Dave? Come on. Anywho, so
Just
we
pull
don't
a
have to
hair
sing
off
any
the...
anti. I did. It was some sort of dog hair, and it was bothering me.
There's no fucking dog.
There was dog hair, dude. Sorry.
Does
Were you
Hugo?
shedding?
Does Hugo have a dog?
He doesn't. I don't think. It was like Pomeranian hair. I could identify that from here. Anyway, so other than anti-Bruce Arena chants, Sounders get a nice result over the weekend. we head into a quote break now. A break which includes next Tuesday U.S. Open Cup match. So we'll be here the night before that. We'll do some preview stuff next week. But we don't have a game or a lot of other things to pay attention to for the next 5-7 days.
You know what you could watch on Thursday?
No.
Women's national team, like
Yeah.
Marquez in Sweden. He's basically
He's just
I know.
bragging.
he's first world in it.
But hey,
Yes.
hey Mark.
I'm really excited to see
I'm just trashing you right now.
Well, well,
Megan Rapinoe.
Because she's
I mean-
fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go downtown for that.
Also, shout out to Sarah McNally and Constellation Co. I am definitely wearing my empathy, kindness, and respect shirt in Russia.
In front of
So,
St. Mark's.
so Mark goes to
St.
jail.
Mark's, right? St. Mark's?
Well, if I make it to Moscow, I'll wear it in front of St. Basil's.
St. Basil's, that's it.
Yeah,
So many Saint squares.
yeah,
Can't keep track.
yeah.
It's an actual international break, not a kind of break.
Well,
Well,
for the Sounders.
Only 6 MLS teams are ignoring it, and they're doing that by choice.
There.
Um,
Which I was happy to learn that was actually a thing.
That
Mhm.
became a thing starting last year.
Yeah.
it would have been nice if we could have ignored it for a week.
Yeah, it just,
Prior.
I think it doesn't feel like a break because of how things went with losing players this weekend,
Yeah,
the Open Cup being on Tuesday.
We still
It
don't
just-
have the full list of call-ups. And we know Ramon Torres got called. It's funny because he's on a plane with one of his teammates
Yeah.
from Houston.
Yeah.
They just left from Seattle to
So funny.
sitting next to each other. But there'll also be some lesser known players like S2 or kind of French guys that are getting called up because there's the Caribbean Cup and some other stuff going on. So only about half the team will actually get a break.
Okay.
But that's fine because,
better than the compressed schedule they've been
Yeah.
playing in for the last
Yeah.
3 weeks.
and we get to get all angry again at the end of June because Bruce Arena has a week and a half long training camp before the Gold Cup. So even though MLS took the Gold Cup group stage off, the Sounders are going to miss potentially Morris, Dempsey, and Roldan for the Gold Cup.
Great.
For Gold Cup training camp, not even the Gold Cup proper.
not even
And then
Camp Cup
potentially a month. for World Cup.
Well, but the Gold Cup itself, the Gold Cup group stage, the entire league took off. So,
I got nothing. On some level, I feel like I go overboard, or we all go overboard on these things with the U.S. team, but I don't think I can compare to when I look at, the heavy hitter players who play in Europe and elsewhere who play for Argentina or some of the South American nations. Like, it just doesn't feel as devastating to their clubs because of how those leagues handle breaks. And for as stretched out as our season feels here in North America, it just feels like every year they sort of solve it, and then it's just as bad anyway because of things like this, where it's like, oh no, we brought them in a week early for this, or oh, they're staying a week later because they're
fine,
here.
bring in the guys that are like the Euro guys, like Yedlin. Great, have them practice together.
Yeah.
That's fine. Taking 2 guys from teams that are weak,
I mean,
that's bad. Taking the third keeper for
Yeah.
a friendly outside of the cycle, that's bad. That's really shitty. And Bruce Arena used to call it shitty. Like, he would call it out when he was the LA coach. And I understand he answers to a different master now, and he's
Right.
doing what's best for him right now, which is what we would do if we were in his position. But at the same point, dude, stop.
It just it is worse, right? I'm not misperceiving this. It's actually worse than what a lot of other teams, global teams, face in these
Yeah.
situations, right?
Yeah, but now Mexico and Ireland also played outside of the international break, but 99% of only 3 players had to pull out of their league between both of those teams.
Right.
It's part of the curse of MLS right now. It's gotten good enough that a lot of Americans play in the league.
Right.
And so we get hit with that, and it's more frustrating because teams like the Sounders or Toronto, for example, play midweek games because they know their fans show up.
Right.
They're like, we're going to avoid the whole playing through international breaks with our B squad by not playing those weekends, and then through all the planning to still get hosed. That's why it's more frustrating.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's more common, it's
That's
just
what
more
I'm not
frustrating.
sure. Is it just more frustrating because of how it goes down?
I think it's just more frustrating.
Yeah.
So it feels more common.
I think so, because they tell you we're going to play all these Wednesday games so that we don't lose half the team from the national breaks. And then Bruce Arena's like, fuck yeah, we're going to take your people anyways.
And I mean, on the other hand, if you are a country person too, as far as the USA goes, maybe he's just going for it.
We're getting less and less of those country first, and
I agree.
The reason we're getting less of them is because we have more and more professional clubs.
Yeah.
So people are rooting for their local pro.
Yeah.
And you know, if you look at the number of professional clubs in this country in different markets, so let's not count S2, they're in the same market, but yes, count both of them still, because they're not, right?
Right.
Rio Grande Valley has, I mean, that's a $2 million metropolitan area.
Colorado team, is that what that is?
It's
Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs has
Yeah.
a team now. Rio Grande Valley is associated with Houston.
Houston, that's it.
Dynamo.
Okay. That's right.
Reno has a team
Yeah.
in the pro, you know, San Francisco, not just San Jose, you know,
Yeah.
like we're talking, there's something like 50 markets with fully professional sides
Right.
now. And that's going to diminish the whole club versus country debate, because
Right.
people who watch their club 30 to 40 times a year
Well, no,
are going to like
increase
it.
the debate.
No, it'll decrease the debate,
Think?
because there won't be a debate, because the
you
team
think
I
there'll
watch
be-
40 times a year is the one that's more important than the one that I watch 4 times a year.
Oh, you actually think that balance will sway, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
I got it. Okay.
The country first fan will fade
Will be
away
the minimal.
as
Okay.
NASL expands, USL expands, USL 3 expands, MLS continues expanding. Like, all of that's happening. And so your country first people are going to be living in places that don't have a local pro side on TV. So like Billings.
Okay. So you bring up USL for a second there. Do you think I go this way because of the conversation about Canada and its Canadian?
Oh, and the Canadian Premier League is about to
Do you
fire up.
think USL just gets to the point where, like, we have a zillion teams, we're just gonna have pro rel? Totally
We
serious.
just did
Like,
it now.
just to do, we did. But I mean it, like, and it's not like it would be that devastating for the teams to go up and down, but do it just for, like, create some
No.
sort of some.
Absolutely not. And the reason is because
The money's
the
not.
teams that are exploring for USL 3, they're in tiny places.
Yeah.
For the most part. Some of them are a little bit bigger, but for the most part, they're small. And they're not, they don't have the same corporate backing that, you know, rather than Reno or Las Vegas, they're looking at a place like, say, Carson City, if you know Nevada. Rather than Phoenix, they're looking at Tucson. Rather than Cincinnati, they're looking at Toledo and Bowling Green.
Right.
You know,
I ask more because, like, the USL's got some serious haves and have-nots.
I mean, you look at
Like-
Phoenix,
Yeah.
they've got the other Light Dogs. They've got, what, Drogba?
He's coming there. Well, he's gonna be
he's
owner
there. He
or
hasn't really
something.
played yet, but
and
he's
then
there
they've
and
got-
practicing. Omar
who's the-
Bravo.
Yeah,
Blair Gavin is like a bench player for them.
yeah.
But like from market to market though, like look at the the Indianapolises or the Cincinnatis and the Sacramentos, where like
Yeah, the indie teams
you
are
have-
doing
you
really
have
well.
all these teams
in
though
USL.
that they've basically said we're going to get 10 to 20,000 people to come out all the time, and our goal is just to be an MLS club. And then you have other cities that, while I'm sure they'd also like to have an MLS club,
I don't
they're
know
just
No, then you
any of
look
the
at,
independent
aside.
teams that
when
are
you look
not.
at like Detroit,
No, but they're
who
teams that-
draws well and wants nothing to do with MLS.
well,
Well,
that's a different league.
but that,
They also
Yeah, they
refuse
are,
to pay
yeah.
their players,
right.
oh wait,
'Cause they don't
do.
really
I
care.
forgot about that.
you know, for all their fans being like, Yeah, down with corporatism. Yeah, starve, players, starve. You don't deserve money. Dance, monkey. Like, come on, Detroit. Sorry, Detroit City angers me.
Well, and no one really wants to talk about that particular topic.
So,
It's
sorry,
funny.
USL.
I just feel like there's
the
some teams that
independent
their
teams.
goal is. There are 12 teams in the hopper right now for MLS expansion. That's insane. It's actually dumb.
But they're only going to take 4 or 5, depending on the Miami situation.
Right.
And we had this conversation Saturday about Huddersfield moving into the Premier League. We don't have the situation where someone's getting a $15 million payday.
That was yesterday. You had too many dumplings.
Yes, yesterday. Where you get $15 million to move up. Without the corporate backing here, you go nowhere. And you've got enough Fairweather fans too that you get relegated. I think you kill a club or two.
Well, it depends what that means. Like, is it just semantics? Because you're like, we have a league with 40 teams. We're going to have 2 with 20.
No, I get that.
And is it just...
But if somebody's like, I was in MLS, and now you're in USL?
Sure, but I think you're talking about a different discussion. I think that's the broader pro-rel. I'm looking at it as like, you have a league with 40 teams in it. Do you do it just for the sake of like managing the league?
Well, they just break into one.
I mean, it's like the AF, like arena football, like has arena football too, like, and they did it just to break the thing up into 2 buckets.
Well, what they could do, USL at Division 2 could just, they've already gotten rid of conference play. They can just add a central conference,
Right.
and the only times they would meet up would be in the playoffs. Fine. Their USL 3 is going to have like divisions all over the place. Like one's in the southeast and others in the upper Midwest. We probably won't get one over here because like there just aren't enough cities close enough
Right.
that are not just going to be drowned in Sounders and Timbers life. So yeah, USL will continue expanding. There's nothing wrong with that.
Because it can.
Yeah.
And it's fine. No, it was more just I was curious if you thought that it would just get to some point where someone did it just because they could. And your answer is no, as of right now.
No, the people are the people spending the money aren't spending the money to go down.
That's
I think the problem is right now the down doesn't really
Destroys you.
mean anything when you're starting from scratch.
no, but if you look at, like, say you're like Houston, and you go down, they're
But you're
5,000
talking about
fans.
MLS to something else.
It's like USL.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like USL to USL. Like within the USL,
Oh, okay.
like would they ever do it within their own
Nothing.
league
didn't hear you.
structure by creating like a second league of their own that had an up and down?
I like the idea of it. Don't think it'll ever happen.
They're not going to do it.
I'm just curious. I just need to start up. It's Monday and we're sitting outside. It's too sunny still. Although I think we can see Dave properly now.
We still have a bit of a
Because
Your
there's
God
a little bit
complex
of
is
aura,
still happening?
aura, if you will.
Good one. So
SAT word right there.
we'll get in the weeds on
I took that 800
really
years ago.
previewing next week's match
Next week.
next week. But
You get a 42.
while we're here,
Oh no, you.
what do you think
Oh,
about
you guys have.
the fact that basically like
Joking.
all
I
the
know.
look, I'm
I
shocked.
was like, wait, you guys have different
rivalries
scoring.
happened in this next
And I was
round.
like,
So
oh.
Only 2.
they're the ones that like you could have found a way to avoid them, and they're happening.
Remember the last time they
Right now.
avoided him? Seattle flew to Tampa
But
midweek.
I think you can
Was
do
that
it
better?
without having to go to Tampa. Like,
What's the closest?
Can't you figure that out without having to go all the way to Tampa? I don't know what the draw looks like right now to say. Is that where you'd have to go? I don't think so.
Well, what they did was because the Southwest, the Northeast, and the Midwest are all like very dense with teams.
Right.
But the Southeast and the Northwest are not. That's why the year that they
I guess what I'm
avoided
saying
Portland,
is
Seattle early, that's why it happened.
there's zero chance that that wasn't on purpose. I just don't believe that that wasn't.
If it's not this round,
engineered.
it's going to be next round.
Okay. But it's just one, they like
If
kill
they
it at
regional
this
it.
point early on. and we can talk about the tickets at Red Bull Arena in a second, but like at some level, as much as it's not an MLS competition, the league is essentially getting hurt by the fact that this match is happening right now. It just is. And they shot themselves in the foot by scheduling a home and away. And I like the concept of home and away, generally speaking. I actually like home and home, like one week and 1 week. In other sports, it's actually really fun. In MLS, when you're just overdoing it from a rivalry, like it seems okay, and then you do it, and you're like, nope. Now I know. Like whoever got the second draw or the better time slot for TV, or the experience to go to the game, wins in that situation. And this is, you're going to play a game like a week ago, and then you're going to play another game less than a month later. Oh, and then we're going to throw this other game on a Tuesday in the middle of that whole thing, right around the time when people are like going on vacation and
with
kids
two
getting out
B
of school.
teams.
Yeah,
because it's during the international break.
Like MLS is actually
bad.
being hurt by it, I think.
Here's one of the solutions. Add 4 more teams, or I guess 6 more teams, or whatever, to get to 28, and then all of a sudden you only play Portland twice a year rather than 3 times a year.
I would fucking love that.
Right now.
Please. Yesterday.
That's going to already half the teams in the Western Conference you only face twice, because they've expanded beyond. Remember when we used to play every Western Conference team 3 times? The expansion will help strengthen the rivalry, because...
Let's come back to this, because I do want to talk
but
about
it's still better to sell
expansion changes, because I think there's some interesting things they could do.
But in MLS' case, in some ways, it's better to have those 3 games slightly diluted than it is 2 big games, because you're going to sell more seats. And the TV ratings for even diminished interest in Portland, Seattle will still be better than Seattle, Columbus.
Yeah.
So
do you?
Yeah.
Do you think 34 games?
A lot of suck.
Do you think 34 games it'll never go lower than that for the regular season? Or do you think they could change it?
They won't go lower.
Do you think they'd go up? Because I thought that there was some CBA stuff where they could go to 36.
They might have to negotiate to add more.
Right.
But
so
it's more like leagues don't remove games from the schedule.
No, not typically. Yeah.
MLS did when it shrank.
Right.
But they're not shrinking.
So
you add games because it makes the owners more money.
So at 24, do you think they stick with two buckets of 12, or do they go to 3?
I think at 24, it's 2 conferences. I kind of wish they'd announced that they were going to go to 27, because 27 and 30 give you 3 conferences really easily for scheduling reasons, and you can get a perfectly unbalanced schedule, if that makes sense. Like it's an unbalanced schedule, but you play.
So 27 gives you 16 in your.
You play within your own 2 games, and then
18 more.
1 and 1.
Oh yeah.
1 against the Central, and then 1 against the East, and everybody does it that way as a rotational. Like you host half of a Central, and then you go half the Central, host half the East, go half the East.
34
would be perfect. I really like that.
But that's a funny thing about us playing 34 in this league, is that actually works out really well.
There's ways to have an unbalanced schedule that is fair.
Right.
As opposed to right now, the weird, like, some teams host 3, you 2.
Well, then the ones you still play 1, you're like, what?
I hope that this league always has us face every team once. I think if you go beyond that at the top division, you can argue in favor of regionalism at the lower, as I did for USL. You can argue in favor of that, but I think at the top level.
When you say that, you mean that you play everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once.
Like you don't.
Like you go to the East, you don't skip.
Right. Okay.
Whereas like the USL
is wherever.
The Sounders will not face an Eastern Conference opponent unless they make the USL final.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I will actually say, as much as I like some of the fun of like a couple of interleague games in baseball was interesting, and now that like you can open your season playing interleague is stupid. They've ruined the fun of that. Anyway, so no, I would agree. You got to play everybody at least once.
Yeah.
MLS will just go to they'll just go to 35, and then we'll just play everybody once.
I like it.
Would you ever put it out of the thought of what they would do?
No, it's,
I really like the 27 thing because I hadn't thought about it at that number.
An essential one really works without much still building.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have Texas, Minnesota, Chicago,
people actually there might actually have some rivalries there
Yeah.
that they
Right.
care about.
Columbus.
Fuck
Trillion
Ohio.
Cup. Anyway, so Dave wants 27 teams, is what we got out of that. Mark, how many teams do you want? Are you even here?
28.
Anyway,
That's the sweet spot.
moving on. What are you even talking about?
He's checked out
So-
for vacation already.
Yeah, seriously, Mark's in Russia. So why don't you talk to us, Mark, really about the fact that you're leaving the country possibly for the last time? I'd really like to
So
know.
France
I'd
is
like to
taking
know more.
refugees.
I'm not going to be anywhere near France.
It's a train ride away, dude.
Well, that's true.
Not
so
from
you're going
Sweden.
So you're going
Or
to
Russia.
Germany.
Walk us through your trip.
He's not going to Germany.
So
He's not going.
I fly into Copenhagen
When are you leaving?
Wednesday
Wednesday
morning.
Wednesday. Oh, you're flying on Iceland.
Yeah, so I get into Copenhagen Thursday morning,
Okay.
6 a.m. Hopefully clear customs quickly, and then get on a train to go to Gothenburg.
Good luck. Okay, so you're going to I think
Gothenburg.
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 Yeah. Anyway, so you're going there.
Yep.
What's the timing you have once you get there?
I will literally get off the train, walk to the hotel, drop my bag, and walk to the stadium, which is 4 blocks away.
Sounds convenient.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you're going out with like Pino and the crew after the match.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool, thank you.
Okay, so that's your Thursday.
Yeah. Then stay the night there.
Okay.
Take the train back in the morning.
Wait.
Back to Copenhagen.
We have an important break here. How are you going to get to Kade in the Gothenburg Stadium?
Do you know what's really good in Europe? The beer. Mark, by the way, has never left the South Central America.
North Central,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, and you went to Mexico, so that's still North America.
Yeah.
So Mark has not left the continent. You've been to Hawaii.
Yeah.
So technically you've left the mainland.
But yeah.
But not really. So this is a brand new travel experience.
Brand new
for you.
experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're back to Copenhagen
Yep. Get on
Thursday sometime. Oh, Friday sometime.
Friday. Yep. Get on the ship a day early.
So you're getting on a cruise. You buried the lead on this.
Yeah.
The Baltics.
The Baltics.
Yeah.
So my buddy is the cruise director.
Okay.
So
We played the
Friday night we'll go do Copenhagen things, and then Saturday morning we leave.
Are you gonna start a Tumblr called Just Copenhagen Things?
I should.
Yeah. Anyway, we'd like it pretty fun.
Yeah. So our first stop is Hamburg.
Okay.
This is when Mark is going to France to seek refugee status.
All right. So you're going to Hamburg.
I already asked Angela Merkel if I could have refugee status in Germany. We'll see.
Okay.
Did she answer?
From there, we go to Tallinn, Estonia. So we're a day at sea and then roll into Estonia.
I don't think you roll in on the boat.
I mean, the waves roll.
We sail in.
So,
You use the word sail, but that's
we're
not
not
what you're
sailing.
doing. Okay, so you go to Estonia.
We're motorboating.
Do you know the difference between Estonia and Latvia
in Lithuania
They're
and
all
Ukraine?
They're all different.
and
countries.
Kaliningrad.
They all used to be part of the bloc.
True.
Did you say Stalingrad?
Kaliningrad.
Okay, I was gonna say.
potatoes.
That's the little exclave
Yeah.
that's on the other
isn't
side
it
of all those.
Kaliningrad?
Exclave.
Isn't it Kaliningrad?
Whatever.
Just keep going. So anyway, so you're
So that-
going to Estonia, and what are you doing there?
Exploring old shit.
And you get there what day?
Monday?
You were gonna be gone a long time, dude.
Monday. Yeah.
Okay.
Monday.
So you're in Eastern Europe.
So I will be back on the.
You're on the Asian
Keep
continent.
walking us
Yeah.
through this.
Yeah. So I will be hopefully watching SonarFeed with the gin and tonic on a cruise ship.
It's like super early in the morning.
Yeah, I'll still probably be up.
Have a gin and soda. It's less calories. You can have 2.
Good call.
Diet tonic. It's the way of the future.
Also,
And with diet.
And in Seattle,
you
it's
don't
not
get
taxed.
You don't get taxed.
Tonic isn't taxed.
in
Diet
Seattle,
soda isn't taxed.
it didn't get approved. Well, diet was not included in the tax.
Because
in
of
Seattle.
course not.
Because
Because
why tax?
Well, because it's not a
people?
it's not a
Because
sugary
Mercer
drink.
Island.
It's not a sinful drink.
Let's be honest here, Mercer Island.
Anyway,
newsflash.
That's not
keep us
Seattle.
going. Why don't you
So
tell us more about your trip?
So from there, we go to St. Petersburg,
Okay.
where apparently my buddy has lined up dates for us to go to the ballet and dinner.
Prostitutes.
Your dates.
So
Dates.
your buddy's name is Julie, the cruise director of the Love Boat.
Simon, and he's an Englishman. But yeah,
The
Thank you.
Love Boat. Doo-doo-doo.
so we're there
I'm gonna start
for
calling you Isaac.
2 days. I may or may not make it to Moscow. Don't know. Hope to.
Oh, I gotta give you my jersey.
Yeah.
That's if he does not wake up in a tub.
This is
of
assuming,
ice.
yeah, this is assuming I don't wake up in a ton of ice and a scar.
I have a Zenit St. Petersburg jersey I'm gonna give him to wear.
And-
It's from like
yeah.
15 years ago, so people are literally gonna stop him on the street and go like, they'll be like, "Where did you get that?"
Something in Russian.
And I'll be like,
Oh.
Did
Did you learn any Russian yet, by the way?
Yeah.
We taught him like 5 words, and it was like, "Что," which is like what? Do you know how to say hello? You need to know these words, Mark. You're leaving in 2 days. Privyet.
Privyet, that's right.
Okay. And the one not to ever say to anyone when you're out on dates going to the ballet is "Ya tebya lublю," which means "I love you."
So
Don't
Mark-
say that. If anyone says that to you, literally just leave your belongings
And go.
walk out.
So what you're saying is, Mark's gonna say that after the ballet,
It's totally gonna happen.
with the wife.
Anyway, it wouldn't be the first time that Mark made a poor decision while drinking. So
I don't know what you're talking
today. so
My first was
So you're going-
producing the show.
you're going to St. Petersburg, and then you're going to the lovely confines of Moscow.
Hopefully.
How are you getting there?
Bullet train. 3 hours.
From St. Petersburg.
Yeah, 3 hour
Okay.
bullet train.
It's going to be super cool.
Yeah.
It's good when training.
I thought Dave had a comment, so I was just waiting.
Yeah.
Dave's like, I do have comments. I'm not making any of them.
I'm very worried about Mark.
So
I know,
Mark,
I am too.
I think he's
I
gonna-
think I thought I was worried like a week ago, but we were still laughing about it because we had had like 5 Tecates. And now I'm genuinely concerned
So-
for Mark's safety.
So I wasn't worried until I come today, and he's like, "So my buddy, he got his dates off Tinder in Russia."
We're like, what? You're getting hacked. Right.
Oh, my phone will be
There-
off.
Just turn it off now.
My phone will be off.
Yeah.
Have like a burner credit card that you use
Seriously.
only
Yeah.
there.
So
Just like get an extra credit
so
card
like the,
just for this trip.
Yeah.
vanilla American Express cards you buy at the
Yeah.
one of those.
Preloaded.
Seriously.
That.
Mark's gonna have actual traveler's checks.
Dude, that's a flashback.
taped to his
They
body.
totally still work.
Yeah.
Did you get a money belt yet? Rick Steves will be disappointed if you didn't.
I have one from Mexico City.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're in Moscow.
So then.
What are you going to do in Moscow? It's actually a very cool thing that Dave had talked earlier about.
Yeah.
Earlier.
So the bullet train, if I do the tour through the cruise ship, which is what I would do if I go to Moscow, I'm not just going to go to Moscow. But it's
I
it's
feel
your,
a little bit better.
it's your typical go to St. Basil's Cathedral, go to Red Square, go to the Kremlin.
As an American,
Thing.
go get your orders from the Kremlin now.
Yeah. Maybe have coffee with Edward Snowden.
Cool. What was that? Ghost Protocol? Which one was it? When they blew up the Kremlin by accident? By accident.
By accident.
Anyway, don't get blown up, seriously. Also, so you're gonna wear your Constellation Co. shirt.
Yep.
Or you bring your pride scarf or no?
I am. I'm going to assess the situation.
You're gonna attempt
Don't
to
do
get,
it.
He's
No.
gonna wear a shirt.
No, I'm
No,
gonna.
pride sculpt. Don't do it.
I'm gonna assess the situation. If I deem it to seem,
Not a good idea by Russian law.
I understand that.
So either way, you're taking a good photo. I'm having really bad deja vu right now, and it's super creeping me out. But so you're going to attempt to take a photo at
Yeah.
least with your shirt on.
Yeah.
In St. Basil's
Yeah.
area. Okay. Good on you. So you're in Moscow. Then what? You're not
Yeah.
spending a lot of time on the boat.
No, then we're bullet train back to
What's
St.
the
Petersburg.
boat doing while you're
It's
jaunting around Russia?
hosting
It's-
people who don't want to leave the boat.
Yeah, it's chill.
Who are those people?
Yeah.
A large part of the cruise
50% of
community are people who
Country?
basically want a hotel that moves.
Yeah.
There's also the people who live on them.
Which is a super
Like,
weird thing.
it's actually no.
That's
there was,
actually something Mark will do.
There was a story a couple years ago about a lady who found out it was cheaper to live on a cruise ship than move into a retirement home.
I believe that. There's also the World, the cruise ship that travels the world, and people own condos on it. My buddy was
It's a super cool concept.
my buddy was the sommelier on that for
Nice.
8 months.
What was the sommelier's name in the Love Boat? Sorry, bad. There wasn't.
I think there
wasn't
was
a
a sommelier.
sommelier.
I mean, there
There
probably
would be
was.
if it got remade.
Right. And his name would be Brent.
You know who I want there? Let's remake the Love Boat and have Patrick Stewart be the captain.
Oh. But like if you grew
With
up
Ian
with that
McKellen.
show, if you grew up with
As
The
his
Love
first
Boat
mate.
as a show, you immediately go, "Yep." And by the way, is there anyone are there any two people that are like more super rich people that are really good internet trolls, but like fun internet trolls than McKellen and Stewart?
Sir
Because those
Patrick
guys, like,
Stewart.
anytime some meme happens, they're like, we're just gonna go have those shirts made and then go stand outside Donald Trump's house. You
Yeah.
know, like every time. I'm like, are you guys just sitting around super bored?
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
Yes.
I don't get it. Anyway, so you're gonna go back on the bullet train to St.
Moscow.
Petersburg?
St.
back to
Petersburg
St.
and then
Pete.
back on the boat.
Okay.
And then we head to Helsinki.
Wow. So Finland.
Yeah,
Are you gonna get a beer koozie for Tim Blakely?
I should.
You should, because he really A, likes Finland, and B, likes beer koozies.
He gave me a lot of good recommendations.
I act
For death metal bands performing in
and
Helsinki.
go
you
actual-
should
actual
literally
places to go, yeah.
Go to all of them.
Yeah.
I did not know you were going
You
to
are going to come back with a denim jacket that you cut the sleeves off and patches everywhere,
I may
and it's
have
going to
the
be
guy.
so amazing.
And so, really cool thing, I am meeting up with a college friend that lives in Helsinki.
Oh, never mind. I was going to say, I have a guy.
Were you guys
Yeah,
on like
Helsinki.
some dating site?
Marching band.
Oh, no, I mean like
Go
that you
Cubs.
found out that
Marching
Go
on,
Quads. that you found out marchingband.com.
marchingonly.com.
What is that commercial like? Anyway, so do you keep in touch with this person?
have
That's
or
mainly in the key of G.
do you keep in touch with this person?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah. So I remember.
Or you look him up after like
I
7
remember-
years. Hey, remember
No, no,
me?
no.
I'm going to be next door. Like,
No, I remember
His
his
couch.
He and his wife, they had a going away party for when they moved there. Must have been 4 years ago now.
Okay,
So
so you've kept in touch at
Yeah.
least tangentially.
yeah. I mean, he was a good friend in college, so
Got it. Okay,
it's not
so you
just
got-
like a rando.
So you're gonna hang out in
Yep.
Helsinki.
Yep, we're
How
only
long
there
are you
for the
in
day.
Helsinki?
Only for the day.
A day.
Yeah,
And
Well,
you leave at night or like
yeah.
an overnight?
like 8 to 5.
most cruise ships move at night so that you like pull in the next morning so you
Thanks,
can
Dave.
experience the city.
Great.
That's actually a fun fact I did not know.
Yeah, at all. Do you know why? Because I don't want to go on a cruise.
I
Although
give you-
everybody tells me to go.
No, the Baltic one. I
Here's some
forgot.
Dave Clark trivia for you. Dave Clark's mom sells
Jake,
cruises
only
and
$1,000.
tours, like specialty tours and cruises.
you got a
That's
room
all
right
she
I
now.
have
does
no
now.
patience for tours. I could totally do a cruise. I've done the like
But the flight.
around, like,
Probably another
like
1,000.
New York, like off from New York City for the day. Like leave first thing in the morning, go
Get
out
far
for-
enough out that you can gamble.
Literally, drink a bit, come back and be like, I could literally walk to my house from
we
here.
we
You should do
so-
a repositioning
I was-
where they go
that's
from
what I was
Seattle
gonna
to
say.
San Francisco. It's a 3-day, 2-nighter,
or
and
or
you're at sea the whole time. So basically, you're just
Seems
getting
like a
So if
good
we're
idea.
talking,
or up to Anchorage.
if we're talking
It's a
casinos
day,
that
overnight.
float,
no.
if St. Louis ever gets one, they've got this thing where they actually built a moat around it.
Yeah.
So it's technically
Yeah.
a casino boat, but it's not.
I've been to it.
Good times. So, back on the boat.
Naturally.
Back on the boat from there.
Leaving Helsinki too?
Stockholm.
Wow,
Syndrome?
you're hitting all of it.
Yeah,
It actually will be Stockholm Syndrome.
it will. Yeah.
He
So
won't come
we're
back.
there for 2 days.
Do you know what country that is?
Sweden.
Okay.
We are going to a 2 Michelin star restaurant.
Ooh.
I'm pretty pissed off about that.
Yeah.
Oh, do we have a quick aside? Did you see that Michelin, the tire company, sponsored a cooking segment on Twitter with a Michelin star award-winning chef?
Why is that
That's
surprising?
fantastic.
Like, Michelin brings you how to cook with Michelin Cook.
What? I don't get why that's surprising. That's like perfect way to keep Michelin relevant.
I don't know which one it keeps more relevant, the tire company or the...
The one named Michelin.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I never would have expected a tire company to sponsor a cooking show with an amazing... So 2 stars on what's the name?
You do realize.
Sorry,
Wait, you
Dave
do
will
realize
sidetrack quickly.
It
that
is.
Michelin is named for the tire company, and it was started in France to get people to travel more.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
So the
Does it
reason
make more
it's
sense now?
Michelin is
Yeah, but they haven't advertised it that way in like,
because
what,
they don't
50
need
years?
to. Longer
Well, I
than
think
that.
I think they actually are separate
They're separate
organizations.
now.
No.
So what it was when it was started, it was in France. They were trying to get people to travel and buy tires, and so they started the Michelin Star program.
That's why we invented Spring Break.
So
Brought to you
would
by
go
Continental Tire. No, I'm
people, so people would go to awkward U.S. cities that they wouldn't go to the whole rest of the
Panama
year?
City Beach, Florida.
Seriously.
Anyway, so the restaurant.
Shout out
Yeah.
to CJ.
I'm gonna horribly
CJ's gonna
mispronounce
beat the
this,
shit out of you.
but it's called Walks and Slip.
Welcome
It's-
to Oxford Slip.
It's
I'm
actually
just going to use your phone
it's
now.
actually at a marina.
Well,
Perfect.
you'll
So
never
they
get
have-
alone.
They have a regular. They have a regular restaurant out front, and you actually go through like a speakeasy door in the back for the fine dining, which is what has the.
Don't tell Derek.
By the way,
he will beat the shit out
I
This,
know.
this is a 2 Michelin star restaurant. Let me just read the opening sentence for
For
you.
a grasp, 1 Michelin star restaurant are better than literally all the restaurants you've probably been into
Ever.
in your entire life.
Yeah.
And this has 2.
In
By the way,
Oxford
you see what
Slip,
Graham
we
went
serve
to dinner?
our interpretation of Swedish bistro fare, hearty and uncomplicated dishes, many of which are meant to be shared by 2 or more.
Who are you sharing with?
Swedish meatballs.
So that
2
that
Michelin
is
stars.
that is no that is their
But
that's
with
their
roast
front
meat.
side.
Oh.
You're going to the cool section.
Yeah, the back side
Scroll.
is a 10-course dinner.
By the way, shout out to CJ, who dropped a Florida.
Florida.
Anyway,
'Cause
I'm
of the
sorry.
Panama City.
So, wait, did you say it was price fixed?
Yeah,
Okay.
240.
Oh,
How many
so you're not
courses?
going to the
10.
bistro, you're going to Austin
240,
Prop
240 American?
Yeah.
or the club room.
Oh.
It's not
How
bad.
many, are they euros or are they kroner?
Krona.
Kroner, yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, this sounds very 2 Michelin. We explore the wild herbs of Djurgården. We choose unique ingredients from our neighboring regions.
Gardens like Schweinsteiger.
Sustainable agriculture, humane animal husbandry is required to end up in our kitchen. We cook
Mark.
our ingredients in a modern way, but with old and traditional techniques, the foundation of our approach. And the
I just
wines
want to
we
know if there's
serve
going to be ramps.
come from small selected vineyards. That's a very
But
Shit is on.
so but
Yeah.
going to
Is
this
wine
Michelin-
included in that price?
No, the wine
No,
flight will be about
like
80 to
80.
100.
Yeah.
Buy it.
Duh.
I'm sorry.
the pair the
Yeah,
like
the pairing will be 80
with
to
the
100.
course. Are you?
Worth
Is it?
Worth
every
it.
penny.
Worth
Did
it.
I skip this? You're doing like a tasting course.
No. It's a
No,
10
the 10
course.
course is
meal.
considered a tasting menu.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean
but
it's
like
your smaller
micro
portions.
Yeah, so it's a
Well,
taste.
I don't know if it's micro, but
It's
it's
a-
going to be long
long.
and properly portioned, unlike American
It's going to
restaurants.
be.
Will be what 2-3 hours?
Easy.
Yeah.
It depends how fast they push it.
It's probably 2 hours.
So after you eat the
Yeah.
best meal in your life,
So, but going
With my one kidney.
but going back to this 240, like that's really not.
and all your
bad for
burner
a
credit
show.
cards have
At all.
disappeared.
You look at like Alinea, which is in Chicago. You're looking at 450.
No, when I saw the price, I was like, oh yeah, we're doing that.
What you should do is change your money to kroner,
Yeah,
especially if it's more than like one,
yeah.
and just roll in with cash.
I'm going to.
You get a tip.
You get a tip. You get a
Don't
tip.
do it, dude. Don't.
You know he'll do it, right?
Don't be the American, Mark.
Seriously, don't be.
No, I'm not gonna.
Like at all on this entire trip.
Yeah.
You know enough about Vancouver to fake
You
it.
probably have fun there.
I am leaving home the tearaway trunks.
Well, actually, those might be best on the cruise ship.
He did actually say animal husbandry.
When you play shuffleboard.
People don't know what that is. You know what? Hold on. Let me.
No, people who play D&D know it.
Not enough people know what animal husbandry is. Dave just like ring and run on a D&D joke,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna let it go.
So anyways,
Anyway.
from there,
Yeah.
so then back to Copenhagen for 2 days.
Okay.
That's a good way
So
to
when are you at right now? What day is it?
This would be.
Those are the final 2 days.
I leave Copenhagen on Thursday.
So
No, the
what day?
22nd.
Yeah. So we're weeks out here.
Yeah.
It's a 2-weekish
To break
trip.
it back out for people, this wasn't like in out. This is
Yeah.
like lots of days on
I leave
water.
on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We only have 2 days actually at sea. Everything's overnight.
So then you're home just in time for
No, no.
Portland away.
Oh,
Best part.
no, I'm not even
Oh
done.
no, I know this,
This is
which is
great.
why I was teeing this up this way. So
What?
you're home just in time for Portland away.
Funny you mentioned that.
We
So-
didn't plan this at all.
So I'm gonna spend 2 days in Iceland on their free stopover, which is fantastic.
Reykjavik?
Reykjavik. And do the
Alaska Airlines mileage plan partner.
Thank God.
Anyway,
Just the other half of the reason I did this because what an easy way to get 10,000 miles.
all right. So you're hanging out in Reykjavik.
There
They
for a
don't
couple
date
days.
Americans. Just
That's fine.
FYI.
That's fine.
I mean,
Maybe with your tearaway trunks, though.
Oh,
you have to get rid
at
of
the
the
lagoon.
You have to get rid of the stash.
Walk up to the lagoon. What up? Okay, so 2
El
days.
Tigre is here.
He's gonna do this now. Anyway, keep going.
Well, dude.
Only if he was
So
filmed.
Reykjavik.
So there, do the Golden Circle, your standard fare, and then I was looking at my flights to come home. I was like, wow, kind of expensive to come home to Seattle. Wonder how much it is to go to Portland. Oh, $200 cheaper. What's that weekend? Oh, I could do Portland away.
And then, to end the trip, back to Seattle.
Back to Seattle, doing a little Amtrak.
So if it's a mode of
So
transportation,
you will realize how shitty
I-
Amtrak is.
I am literally doing trains, planes, and automobiles.
So when you get back on Amtrak, you're
those aren't pillows.
gonna be like,
Anyway, it's my one
My
joke I'm getting.
favorite
tonight.
moment of Mark's trip will be when the Amtrak train breaks down in
On the
Longview
way home.
Kelso
Oh, no
on the way
shit.
home.
There's
Yeah.
gonna be a slide.
no,
You're gonna be in like, what is it, Kalama?
Kalama, yeah.
Kalama.
I'm gonna end
You're
up
be there and just be like,
It's
my
just gonna
Twitter is
stop.
horrible. The Wi-Fi is broken.
No, I'm literally gonna end up on a fucking Bolt bus somehow.
It's actually Mark's gonna get his credit card stolen on the Amtrak on the way home. He's
His
gonna
last
make it
burger
this
card.
whole way.
Which will be fine because I will have spent every goddamn dollar I have. And then
what's
some.
really gonna happen is Mark will get on and we'll get sidetracked by a freight train for like 8 hours.
Just not move.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
On that note, I have to pee.
go.
You can go. We'll take care of the show from here.
But he's gonna realize how shitty the
It's all about you
Amtrak
now.
is after riding a boat
Yeah, seriously, he's gonna have been going 212 miles an hour
back to
in
87,
Europe, and then here he's like, maybe we made it up to 67,
right?
And it'll
Ish.
stop like
800
every
times.
tiny town.
Well, no, that part of the line doesn't do so bad.
The last stretch.
The last stretch, but I mean,
The
major-
Tacoma to Seattle is the one that's
It's
a grind, and yeah.
So
Well, that
Mark's
was
gonna
distracting.
die. I thought that was actually worth talking about.
Does he die or does he come back with a Russian bride?
I think he comes back with a new tattoo.
Oh, he does that.
Of the
Yeah.
Moscow skyline.
He does come back with a new tattoo.
If I were him and I wanted to like sandbag us, I would get a henna tattoo of the Moscow skyline on his other arm when he's in Portland.
And be like, I changed
And then when he
citizenship.
comes home, takes the picture of it, and we'd all just go batshit on Twitter, and then he'd be like, henna.
So
He won't do that.
he is getting a tattoo because he did ask, like, where do I get a tattoo in Sweden? And I recommended a place in Gothenburg.
What?
The fact that you have a recommendation scares me.
The lady who does
I just gotta go to my Swedish tattoo
No,
parlor.
that's the thing. So the lady who did my wedding is Swedish, and she tattoos in Gothenburg for 3 months every year. So I was like,
Some people summer as a verb in Martha's Vineyard. Other people go to Gothenburg to tattoo other humans.
I would
so I'm like,
I would remind us all that there was a time in Tom Bureau's life when he weekend in Maui.
Yeah, if Tom Bureau had more disposable income, he would
Well,
be
that-
in Maui right now. I just don't tell anyone that I'm using the word weekend for anything. I just
You
go.
used it as a verb.
Well, sure.
But-
But I would just go.
but instead he's gonna go to a random shop in Stockholm.
Probably.
No,
Are
that's exactly what's happening.
We think you're going to get a tattoo of the Moscow skyline
No.
on your other arm.
On your other arm.
No, he's gonna get.
Oh, to go with my Vegas skyline?
No, he's gonna get the Kremlin with Donald Trump spray painted on it.
Ooh, that's a good one. I had like 10 Vladimir Putin jokes,
You
and I
just
can't
keep
even
talking
make them
today,
now.
huh? How many people are...
Somehow they're still watching.
Yeah,
No one really knows.
I am most likely
Chris
gonna
is
get
like,
a.
it's midnight, dudes. Shut up.
Yeah, I most likely will get a tattoo on the trip. I don't know of what yet.
It's gonna be of his Russian bride's name in Cyrillic.
On my wrist.
Svetlana. Here, on your wrist. On my left calf.
Night tab.
But not like here. He's going full like Gucci, like right here.
The novel Snowcrash by Neil Stevens has this moment where rather than send people to jail, because that's really expensive,
Kill 'em.
what you do is you just tattoo to their forehead for impulse control.
No.
So everyone that sees you knows you're the dumb criminal that couldn't control themselves and are prone to violence.
Even better.
Mark will just get Tecate drinker.
This fucking thing. Wow.
Yeah, but then he'll get signed by some Ascenso MX team. Probably one of the teams that can't get promoted.
Like, we're not popular enough to get promoted.
I would love to have an entire show where we just bitch about Liga MX rules with Ugo and just listen to him be like, I don't care because I like Chivas.
So, last tattoo thing. So when he loses his kidney, some Russian crime boss is gonna tattoo like the Russian symbol for like little bitch.
They're not gonna even use like go to a real tattoo parlor. They're just gonna do it right
Yeah,
there.
with a big pen and a needle.
Oh
No
God.
problem.
Mark, what's with this blue awkward tattoo on their arm?
They didn't have a black pen.
I mean, it is better than them carving into his arm.
They're going straight gulag tattoo.
Straight gulag. Wait, Mark's he's gonna get the Tupac gulag life insert like on his stomach.
You also are not easing my anxiety.
I mean, that's not a kidney.
By the way.
And an awesome.
A kidney.
You're gonna be fine.
And
I know.
And an awesome Russian tattoo.
Dude, Emily doesn't like our Russian bride jokes. And Ugo is a good person.
Emily, why don't you want me to be happy?
Hugo is not a good person because the flag he flew on his sedan driving into the Sounders game was that stupid Chivas flag.
Oh,
His
yeah, I
window.
saw him behind me yesterday. And I was like, that's gotta be Hugo. Who else
drove-
knows Chivas?
Side by side on First Avenue, basically from 599
Seriously?
to Park on pregame.
By the way, did you see that the like Atlas Academy kids were here?
Yeah.
That was the Merced.
Is that what that was?
It was the Merced Academy.
Okay.
They were Merced Atlas, and they
it's
just
now
rebranded. Next
they're
year,
still wearing.
Next year they'll be Seattle Sounders Academy. They're in that N1 contract, start the new. And so, hey, I can tell you this. Here we are, SonarFeed exclusive. They came up here. They played against Pac Northwest, Eastside FC,
Okay.
and the Sounders Academy
Okay.
players. They went to both the S2 game and the first team game.
So yeah,
And they were at practice on Friday.
So when I was in the security line to get in,
The sound of SonarFeed exclusive.
so I'm in line next to a guy wearing a Atlas like hoodie, and I was like, that's kind of random. And then I went inside, and there's 80 kids and Atlas gear, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was super confusing.
It did say Merced on, but they had the black and red of.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying from here to there, like all I can recognize is the Atlas logo.
They brought 3 teams out.
Jordan, wow.
For it. They're one of 2 Central Californian teams that are part of the affiliate or partnership program.
Yeah.
There's the also the one in the Carolinas, and there's a Yakima and a Spokane. I think that's all the ones that are, outside of the Puget Sound area.
Okay. Cool. So we can probably keep talking about light. Let's not do that because we kept everyone like an extra hour plus.
And we're not as interesting as Damon.
by a lot.
Yeah.
Although we did learn from CJ that you're incapable of love. So shout out to Tropic Sound. So we don't need to make any predictions because we'll do that next week. Any I almost said last words and now it's not funny anymore. So any final words for the evening
I'm gonna
from the group?
I'm gonna Skype in and somehow Dave's gonna figure
That would
out how
actually be
to.
super cool.
I mean,
it could be us. You could
I'll
call
hold my
me.
phone up to the camera.
Aaron was so mad and you were so drunk.
In Mexico?
And you had a liter of bad Cuervo.
Is there such a thing as good Cuervo?
Actually, there's good Cuervo, but you've never seen it before.
Yeah.
So let's, any final comments? I'll go around the horn here. Jake, anything you want to say before we close the show tonight?
no, just never mind. I got nothing.
Okay.
I was gonna make another joke at Monk's expense.
Mark?
I figured we'd beat him
Mark,
up.
what do you have to say? Thank you for setting up the show tonight and sort of showing Dave how to do things.
He'll be alright. He'll be alright.
Looking forward to my long distance phone bill when I call him.
Seriously. Actually, it'll be his long distance phone bill.
Yeah. Just
So we can use Skype.
Just message me.
Mark, what do you have to say?
I got nothing.
Got nothing.
Good luck.
So we got a question from the audience.
Ooh, question.
Uh-oh.
Will you sing "Back in the USSR" karaoke tonight?
Oh, I
That's
should.
actually an excellent idea.
I should do that.
Yeah,
I should do that.
Emily, that's a yes.
Yes, that's a yes. Emily.
that's happening.
We'll make sure to get that on
We'll try and
Twitter.
post it on the internet.
.com.
David?
Especially when you watch me.
I'm going to review because we didn't say this yet, and it's going to start with an F-bomb. So if your innocent ears are around, fuck the ruckus.
Oh yeah.
Let's not talk about
forget
this.
about that.
We had so many other things to talk about.
So,
Fuck the ruckus.
yeah.
Let's talk about this for a
The
second.
fuckus.
Orlando City's supporter group, one of many. They've got like 4 or 5 that hang out there.
Dozen.
The Ruckus is one of the 2 larger ones, and their president decided to dox Ted Uncle.
So who's Ted Uncle?
Ted Uncle is one of the center refs that's in pro, who made a call against an Orlando team this
And
weekend.
actually, not that bad of a rep.
He was
He's
the
fine.
ref here like
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Or
Again, the rest who
Seattle
don't remember
game.
their names are the ones that are okay.
So
Yeah.
he happens to live in Florida, and
Sorry.
like Sarasota, I believe, which not that far away from Orlando, and plenty of Orlando fans are probably in that area. So they doxed his business, which might be his home address even, because it looks like it's one of those kinds of businesses.
Great.
And put it out over the internet,
What's on
and
file?
yeah, it's not going to be like there'll probably be sanctions about it because
That's and just in case it wasn't obvious, that's fucking bullshit.
In my opinion, I want MLS to throw the fucking book at them.
You don't do that shit.
I don't know if it's actually going to happen.
I don't
I'll
know
be
if it is.
surprised if nothing happens.
Right.
Like, I want all the sanctions.
It's bad. Like, again, as
Yes,
a
what's on
co-president-
file?
As a co-president of a supporter group, I like causing havoc, and
Yeah.
I think there's something to just like stirring shit up.
There's a line.
I'm not finding Joe Roth's phone number and posting it on Twitter. Like, I'm just not.
Right.
Well, you could probably just call the company and get his
We're not going
assistant's
around.
office. Like, that's not what you do. And it seems it's obviously malicious. It's actually just unnecessary.
It's
He's
bullshit.
not going to be a better ref because you
Right, you've done nothing.
screamed at him on
In fact,
his
you've made it
voicemail.
worse. In fact, you've made it worse for supporters as a whole, let
Yeah.
alone just the ruckus.
I do think it's interesting. It came from the same team with the Dick Wagon fans from a couple weeks ago. Remember, they were the ones that were fondling themselves on national
Behind
television.
the goal.
Behind the goal.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Florida man.
Yeah.
Hi,
Shout out to
CJ.
CJ.
Shit's lit,
Fam.
fam.
Okay.
So
So if you were to see sanctions, what would you want thrown at them?
Dave Clark.
Dave Clark.
I mean, you got to ban the president for. I don't think for life, but you got to ban him.
I would do a stadium ban for him.
I could totally see them picking that person out.
Yeah,
For sure.
but then
Because the whole reason that his supporters group retweeted it is because he's the president and has access to it. So, and frankly, if I were him, I'd throw myself under the bus to try to save the rest of my group.
Yeah.
I could see a large argument made that.
You ban the ruckus?
I mean,
Well,
you represent
I don't
your
know the
entire
level. I don't know their relationship, so trying to between them and the club. So me trying to figure out the appropriate punishment without having
It's a
any of
little
that
hard.
knowledge is
Yeah.
impossible. But one of the simple things is that guy doesn't belong in an MLS stadium.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see them go at the bad actor here and not kill the group.
Right.
Although if nothing happens, and then although if you looked at
Well,
Twitter,
the
you
group
see
was defending
responses.
him.
Well, but there are people who are like, "We're not this. What are you doing?" as well. So
I mean, there's both sides, but
Yeah.
it depends on. I think you only go after the group as a whole, depending on how much the group as a whole went after Uncle.
well, do people know? Well, that's a whole nother discussion, which we don't know yet.
We don't know.
So, but it's midnight Eastern, so like, are they getting phone calls right now? Like,
Right.
that's the problem. Like, this is still stirring up right now.
So it's going to be weird to get some fallout because there have been times where you're like, oh, MLS is wrong, and this is a time when you're like, other supporter groups are very likely to be like, no, crack down,
Yep.
because you don't fuck with people's real lives. It's just soccer. We got enough stuff in our lives.
You don't agree with this ref's call. You don't go and give his home address or his business address and his phone number and say, go fuck with him.
Right. And it was a call to action, not just a, hey,
That's
look
the
what
thing.
I
That's the
found.
thing. It wasn't
Right.
It wasn't,
They didn't even try to like soft sell what they
it
were
wasn't
doing.
like here's
He went,
Uncle's information. It's
Oh yeah, it
Go
wasn't
out.
like here's a link. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, look what I have.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, we live in a scary world some days, and I think any of us that have paid attention to soccer over the last 10, 20, 30 years, like, scary shit happens in soccer, in global soccer.
Yeah, I agree, Chris.
Scary shit happens in global soccer. You don't need, like, the random drunk people showing up at his house
at 2 a.m.
with
fine.
weapons in the middle of the night. And, like, not to say that anybody would do anything, but you just don't need that. Like, why create the situation? And that's, I think, the bigger challenge here. So, anywho, I'm gonna attempt to lighten the mood for 30 seconds.
Mark's gonna die.
Thank you for everyone
We're
for joining
lightening
us. Thank you to the folks here in the bar tonight for coming out. Happy Monday to everybody. Kevin Hope next week, 7:30 p.m.
Be here.
And to Mark, Ya Tebia Lu Blue. Good night.
And good luck.
This has been so awful.
Wait, this is SonarFeed?
Yeah, how do you sign off on
thank you
NPR?
for listening to the 206th episode of SonarFeed. This has been 2 Thumbs Up with your host, Tom Beerle at Bougie Hoovy.
We out.
Thanks, Mark.
We out.